Hello and welcome. It's your host OT19 Rotom Gamer 19,000. Today we're gonna be doing a little bit more of a wacky build for a little bit more of a wacky character. Today we will be reviewing, explaining, and ranking the Rune Knight fighter in D&D 5e. So for today's race options, we are going to be picking Goblin. Now you may be asking, why Goblin? Well, I imagine this character as a person that is very self-conscious about their height. So self-conscious that they're very snarky, very annoying. They're very, like, probably mean-spirited, probably not the easiest person to get along with. But when they use their Rune Knight powers, they become a saint. They become a wholly good person. And it's kind of funny because if they were to save someone in battle, they'd think, oh wow, they're such a good person. But their allies would know, nah, they're just faking it. Yeah, I feel like it'd just be a very cool character dynamic, or just it's a gag character that can have some serious power behind it. So yeah, for race we'll be picking Goblin. I personally recommend taking a +2 to Constitution and +1 to Strength. Now I am using the Dungeon Dude standard array. If your DM doesn't allow that, if your DM does allow you to roll for your stats, this is basically just rolling for your stats but more consistent. You still have a -8. I mean, I would heavily recommend you talk to your DM about using the Dungeon Dude stats. They run campaigns, they have their own published book. Their way works. It's not overpowered, it's not broken. You know, and also the DM can be meaner, which most DMs are excited that they can be harsher on their players. So trust me, their stat array, it's not game breaking. So please ask your DM if you can use it, and if you are DM watching this, use it. Your player characters feel stronger, and that just allows them to have fun. And also, you don't have to worry about anyone having a 20 strength. The max they can have is an 18 or a 19. So in reality, I feel like you should just allow the Dungeon Dude standard array because it just makes things so much better. But for a fighter, we will be taking athletics and intimidation. I mean, I feel like, a goblin can be intimidating. For fighting style, we will be taking dueling. Because as a small race, we cannot use heavy weapons unless we want permanent disadvantage. I mean, sometimes we can have heavy weapons, but still, most of the times we probably will just be using a longsword. We do have second wind, not that other nice fighter stuff. So, if you want to know the Dungeon Dude standards array, I actually do have it put up on another tab. But their standard array is 17, which we point to strength, 15, which we point to constitution, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Those are their stats. It's really balanced. Again, if you're a DM, allow your players to do it. But for an 8, we're definitely putting in intelligence. Again, to intelligence, one of the most useless stats in the game. If you're not playing a wizard, or an artificer, or some class that needs intelligence, the intelligence is always a good dump. Now we do have a 13, 12, and a 10 remaining. And I think a 10 wisdom will be fine. 13 dexterity and then a 12 charisma. We do want this character to be a little bit intimidating. They're not the brightest, you know, but they would be fun. And for a background, in reality, I don't care for backgrounds. Pick whichever one you like. Well, let's do random. Boom, guild artisan. I guess this guy's a guild artisan. Pick whichever one you have. Pick whichever one you feel like fits your character, or whichever one's proficiencies you like. I'm not gonna spend time looking at the proficiencies, but we will be picking up chain armor. Because I did look it up, and apparently, heavy armor has no effects on any small people, so we should be fine. And for weapons, now, here's what I'm a little about. Because we could pack both a sword and a shield, and a great sword. Now, if I'm being honest, I feel like having a great sword and like taking great weapon master when we'll only be able to get it like sometimes, you could do that. That is a potential for this build, but in reality, it's just it's dumb. I wouldn't recommend it. But we will just be picking a hand axe and then an explorers pack. You do not get no spells, no feats, none of that. And yeah, we are a goblin fighter. On our first turn, we will simply just do a longsword attack with two hands, but we wouldn't have a shield. You know, we'd have a +6 to hit. Again, doing the dungeon stats are not broken. A +6 to hit is not game breaking at level 1, trust me. But we will now be switching to level 3, where it can where the Rune Knight gets a surprisingly a lot of its features, a bulk of its features that you would want. A Rune Knight gets at level 3. They get the first feature, Rune Carver. You can use magical runes to enhance your gear. You learn 2 runes of your choice from among the runes described below, and each time you gain a level in this class, you can replace one of your runes you know with a different one from the feature. When you reach a certain levels in this class, you learn additional runes. So at 3rd level, we know 2, at 7th, we know 3, at 10th, we know 4, and at 15th, we know 5. In total, there are about 6 runes you could pick, so there will be one you never get to choose. Trust me, you don't want to get all 6. And to calculate the DCs for any runes, it would be 8 plus proficiency bonus plus con modifier. That's why we wanted a really good constitution, because it's very important. And now for our first runes, we'll be picking the Cloud and Fire runes, because the Frost and Stone are kind of doo-doo. They're pretty bad. But let's explain the Cloud rune. This rune emulates the pet deceptive magic used by some cloud giants. While wearing or carrying any objects inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on dexterity, sleight of hand checks, and charisma deception checks. In addition, when you are a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can use a reaction to invoke the rune and choose a different creature within 30 feet of you other than the attacker. The chosen creature becomes the target of the attack using the same roll. This magic can transfer the attack's effect regardless of the attack's range. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so against a short or long rest. Now this is really strong. Let's say someone crits, let's say the big bad boss with a 29 strength score crits on your wizard. Nope, he crit on his friend Larry. Boom, so that can save you. And also, charisma, having advantage on all charisma and deception and sleight of hand checks just passively, super strong. Now, I think if I'm not wrong, the charlatan background gives you proficiency in both of these skills. So definitely, charlatan background may be a good one. Next, we have the Fire rune. This rune magic channels the master of craftsmanship of a great smith. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability checks you make that use your proficiency with a tool. Now, this Fire rune, this part may seem useless, but we might use it a little later. You guys will see. In addition, when you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, you can invoke this rune to summon a Fury Shackles. The target takes an extra 2d6 damage, and it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by these shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, banishing the shackles on success. Once you invoke this rune, you can't use it until you finish a short or long rest. This is really good. Just being able to get 2d6 damage every round, basically a thunderous might for free. If they fail one saving throw, this damage can add on very quickly, and definitely worth a use. And with this build, we're not really relying on our bonus action, so I think definitely having something very strong for our bonus action can be really good. This doesn't even need a bonus. Yeah, so right now our bonus action is way open. We have nothing to do with our bonus action, because I thought this used bonus action. Oh no, Giant Smite does. You have learned to imbue yourself with the might of a giant. As a bonus action, you magically gain the following benefits, which last for 1 minute. If you are smart and large, you become large, along with anything you are wearing. If you lack the room to become large, your size doesn't change. You have advantage on strength checks and saving throws. On each of your turns, one of your attacks with a weapon or unarmed strike can do an extra 1d6 damage. Can do an extra 1d6 damage to target on a hit. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your PB bonus, but when you use all uses, you gain them all back on a long rest. This feature we're going to be using a lot. This feature is very useful. Now you may be saying, oh, we're playing a goblin, and one of the goblin's main ability is very small. If you're smaller than someone you're fighting, you gain an extra damage equal to your proficiency bonus. Now, Fury the Small can be used after rerun out a giant smite. Or any round where we can't use giant smite, we can simply just use Fury of the Small, and then boom. They're because so many builds, I feel like just want to use all their abilities in one turn. But with this build, in reality, we just have giant. You can't use giant smite. I just use Fury of the Small. You can't use Fury of the Small. Giant smite. So they kind of intertwine with each other in a very nice way. And now we will be going all the way to level 7 to see what stuff to see our next ability. That's 9. My bad. Yeah, that's 7. We do get Rune Carver, which is an extra rune, but now we have some. New runes. Now we'll be taking the Storm rune because this rune is pretty strong. Using this rune, you can glimpse the future like a storm giant seer. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed this rune, you have advantage on intelligence arcana checks, and you can't be surprised as long as you are incapacitated. This feature can come in very useful. I've seen some DMs that straight up just surprise their enemies. The party's fighting a rogue assassin. Surprise, boom! One of the party members just gets killed. This basically prevents that. You can just get O-code by surprise attacks. In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action to enter a prophetic state for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Till the state ends, when you or another creature gets within 60 feet of you, make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, basically any d20 roll. You can use your reaction to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. Once you use this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. So for 1 minute, you basically get to dictate who has advantage or disadvantage. This is busted, and I don't think I need to elaborate why it's so powerful. If you've ever played D&D, you know advantage and disadvantage can make or break a situation. So being able to control it is just mind busted. And also, you just make it. I'm pretty sure this forgoes any other status they have. So if they have like 3 layers of advantage, you can just make them automatically just have this advantage no matter what. Doesn't matter how many layers of advantage they have, which I feel like this is a very powerful thing. Next we have Runic Shield. You learn to invoke your rune magic to protect your allies. Water break. Make sure to drink water. When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to reroll the d20 and use the new roll. Basically, it acts as a form of disadvantage, but can also act as advantage. This ability is a little iffy. Now, if your opponent rolls a crit, then, of course, this it's pretty good. You can only use it enough equal times your PV bonus, and you gain back all uses on a long rest. In reality, I recommend that Runic Shield should only be spent on crits, because in reality I feel like that's the most value you'll get. But next, at level 4, fighters get an ASI, and we'll just be increasing our strength by 2. Very basic. We want that 20 strength. And now, you may be thinking, oh, we'll increase our constitution. No, we'll actually be taking the chef fee. Now the chef fee allows you to increase your constitution or wisdom, and we're gonna pick constitution. So as this goblin is starting to acclimate to its party, he's starting to realize that these guys, they can get beat up a decent amount. And he's always had a knack for eating. He's always loved eating. And to eat a lot, you need to know how to cook. So during some downtime your characters might have due to level 5 to 6 level up, your character learns how to chef up some amazing meals. Meals so good that if your party uses a hit dice on a short rest, they get an extra D8 a plus their or like hit dice in general. You can only do this to 4 plus your proficiency bonus amount of creatures. So at level 6 you can do 7 creatures. At max level you can do 10. No matter what, if your party's larger than 7 creatures, 7 people, then wow, your TM must hate you. But yeah, this is overall, it's very strong. And also, you can make little treats. So you can legit have make a box of cookies that, as a bonus action, if your teammate eats them, they can get a proficiency bonus amount of temporary hit points equal to yours. So wait, they get okay equal to your proficiency bonus. They gain some temporary hit points, and you can make amount of them equal to your proficiency bonus. And within 1 hour of cooking, or when you finish a long rest, you can cook up a new batch of these. The chef feat is heavily underrated, and yeah, it's very strong feat. Also, you gain proficiency of cook utensils if you don't already have it, but you do need to have food and cook utensils on you at all times. So maybe hit up the shops instead of getting some super busted magical sword. You know, get some cook utensils. You'll probably get more value out of it. And by level 7, your party may or may not have run into someone for plate mail, but once you do, make sure you rob that plate mail. We do want full play on this character. Full play is very strong. And now this character, as you can see, has so many uses. In a fight, this character can do so many things. In reality, this character, its utility it provides really makes fighters a utility based class if you take the Rune Knight subclass. You gain so many advantages. Like, I mean, if you pair up a Rune Knight with like a bard or a rogue, maybe a rogue, then you could have some insane amount of just utility and not be a spellcaster. So if you feel like your party needs more utility, then maybe pick up some rogue levels to get some extra expertises. And when you get some extra proficiencies and expertises, ooh, you're gonna be succeeding on a lot of checks. We do get an extra rune at 10th level, and here we'll be taking the other level 7 rune, which is the hill rune. Yep. This rune magic bestows the resilience of a hill giant. While wearing or carrying an object that bears this rune, you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and you have resistance against poison damage. In addition, you can invoke this rune and gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing for 1 minute. You can't do so until you finish a short rest. Holy hell, this rune, it's powerful. You basically just can get a rage for free and resist poison. You can get a rage plus resist poison. Yeah, let's just say this character will be taking naps a lot. You, the warlock, and the monk are gonna be power nappers. If you have a party of a warlock, a monk, and this fighter, you guys will be going to sleep every 3 seconds, because holy hell, you gain so much value from a short rest. In reality, your character could literally go for like 25 combat sessions without a long rest, but as long as you have a short rest plus with the chef feat, your party can survive. So if you were to play like Dungeons of Drakenheim or something, I would recommend bringing in a Rune Knight fighter with the chef feat. Your party can probably stay alive a lot and explore the city. Next, you have Great Stature. The magic of your runes permanently alters you. When you gain this feature, roll 3d4. You roll a number of inches equal to that roll. And also you do extra damage with Giant Smite, so you roll an extra 3d4, and you would gain an extra 7 inches. So now our character is taller, and maybe stop being such a jerk now, because they have grown taller. So they finally matured, you could say. But here we will be maxing our constitution. Our constitution is a saving throw for half of our runes. The fire shackles can be very powerful. Also, high con is really good on this build. And this build doesn't really need much feats since you are using a longsword. But yeah, now we'll be going to level 15. And now from here, when it comes to feats, pick what you like. I don't really recommend any other feats on this class because you do need a lot of ASIs, which fighters do provide. So in reality, I don't know, just pick any feats you like. Pick any feats you think you get some value out of. And yeah. And then we get Rune Carver, so we'll be using, I think Frost Rune is the second one. Yes, the Frost Rune. The rune magic invokes the might of those who survive in the winter wilderness, such as frost giants. While wearing or carrying an object described as rune, you have advantage on animal handling and intimidation checks. And yeah, in addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action to increase your sturdiness. For 10 minutes, you gain a +2 to all ability checks and saving throws that use strength or constitution. And again, once you use this rune, you can't do so again until a short or long rest. It's pretty good, but definitely not better than any of the other options presented to us. So I feel like that's why we grabbed this one so late. Nothing wrong with it. It's just all the other ones are much better, in my opinion. Next, you have Master of Runes. You can invoke each of your runes you know for your rune carver feature twice rather than once. And you gain all X when uses when you finish a short or long rest. Just doubles the amount of utility we have, basically. And now, we do get 2 extra ASIs. Pick whatever you like. I mean, in reality, there's no real right or wrong here. There's more of just personal preference. Now, I mean, if you like, but some personal recommendations. Lucky would never fail you. Lucky is just very broken. I mean, you do kind of already have multiple uses of lucky, but just to make sure, you really don't want to get screwed over. And I mean, you could take the alert feat. I feel like the alert feat definitely could help you out. I mean, I feel like if you can go first in initiative, then I definitely could see, maybe you get your fire shackles up and just get those up, and that could, alert could be useful. But again, pick whatever feats you like. Those are my recommendations, of course, or just take ASIs. You do have an uneven dexterity. Ever seen of oh, okay, I don't know what that was. Sorry. We've seen a lot of dexterity saving throws being thrown at you. Pick dexterity. Nothing can go wrong. In reality, it's just more of what your campaign is using. Now we'll get to level 20. And at level 18, we do get Runic Juggernaut. You learn to amplify your rune power transformations. As a result, the extra damage you deal with giant smites is increased to 1d10. Moreover, when you use that feature, your size can increase to huge, and while you are that size, your reach increases by 5 feet. Yeah, it's just good. Yeah, extra 5 feet of range, and extra d10 to giant smite. Overall, just good. This subclass in general, there's very lit. All of the features are very useful. Now we do get 2 extra feats here. Again, pick what you like. I guess we'll just increase dexterity because I don't know, dexterity important. I don't really. I don't know. Increase your dexterity, I guess, if you're annoyed by the amount of dexterity saving throws you have to make, or just pick any feats you like. Now this build, you can do a lot of feats, but mostly this build's most optimal turn, it will be doing giant smite and then just slashing in with whatever. You have so many runes, you have so many choices. This build overall, in my opinion, I haven't reviewed the Psy Warrior, but I think this might be the best fighter subclass. So I will be ranking this one 10 out of 10. Yes, you heard me. I think this is the best fighter subclass. It is so powerful. You have so much utility. You have so much power. You just have so much of everything. You cannot go wrong by picking a subclass. You can't. Even if you pick the sucky runes, you'll still have hella utility and still have decent features. No matter what, you'll be good. Now, we'll be ending that video. I hope you guys enjoyed. 1419, signing out. Peace.